Hey everybody, welcome back to another video from Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. And here today because my guides have literally been bugging me to do another video. So I'm trying to follow their guidance, which is, as you know, can be hard because we live in a 3D world with, a different reality. So sometimes it's hard to really put their guidance or these thoughts, impressions, or ideas that we get in practice on the 3D. So, but anyway, never mind. They want me to talk about today is funny stories from my readings. That's what, when I asked them, what do you want me to talk about? That's what they said. So I need to share with you though, back to what I was just saying, actually, when mediums or psychics or even you get information from your guides, it comes as a thought or as a picture, a feeling. Sometimes you smell or taste. I mean, these are all possibilities, right? But the number one thing is to trust, right? If you don't trust what they're sending you, what you're getting, if you don't trust that, then you're dead in the water. You can't help anybody. You can't help yourself because you're not honoring the information and the help that you're getting from your guides and your spirit guides and your angels. So the reason I bring that up is because when I get funny things, or embarrassing things during a reading, you don't really, it's kind of hard. You don't know what to say or how to say it, and furthermore, I am very polite, a please, thank you kind of person. So it makes it even more embarrassing for me, I guess. But so my first story is, I did a reading for this lady. Her daughter passed away as an adult, a very young adult, but as an adult. And she contacted me because she was looking to connect with her daughter. I mean, it had been about 2 or 3 years since her daughter had passed, and she really missed her, and she wanted to see if she could connect with her. So her daughter came in immediately. Her daughter was fun, and I think she was in her 20s, early 20s when she passed. And her daughter was a fun-loving person, very classic, maybe like a person that would not necessarily follow the herd, right, or do everything that everybody else did. She did her own thing. So she started off by giving me some information that validated that indeed I was talking to this woman's daughter. She showed me that she was wearing mismatched pajamas, which apparently that was something that she did all the time, and she did it on purpose, apparently. And she showed me her making breakfast, which is what she always, some of the things that she loved to do. And she went into detail about her death and what happened. And so we got a lot of validation. We knew that we were indeed talking to the right person. But the funny part was that her daughter starts telling me, ask my mom what happened today. And I said, so your daughter is asking what she wants to know, what happened today. Did something happen? Maybe something fun or unique. And, and my client is like, no, I mean, I was with my granddaughter. I don't remember anything really, interesting happening. Well, meanwhile, on the other side, I can see her daughter, and her daughter is laughing. She's doubled over laughing, literally just laughing so hard, crying. She's laughing so hard. And she says, as she's laughing, keep asking her. I'm going to give you a hint and give her a hint. It has to do with the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, you cannot be kidding me. You cannot be serious. So I tell my client, look, I'm really sorry, but this is what she's saying. I just have to tell you what she's saying. And she says that something happened in the bathroom today. Maybe it was in your granddaughter. I don't know. You know, she doesn't want to go into details because she wants you to tell me, because she wants to embarrass you, because she loves embarrassing you and she hasn't done it in, you know, several years. So thankfully, my client had a sense of humor. And my client started laughing so hard. And she said, "Oh my God, I was babysitting my granddaughter, and my granddaughter was busy, and I couldn't go take a break to go to the bathroom and pee. I just couldn't. There wasn't time. And then my granddaughter started doing this thing that was so funny. And it was so funny that I was laughing and laughing. And then I thought, oh my God, I'm going to pee my pants. And she said, I told my granddaughter, stop, don't do that anymore. Let Gigi go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. So she goes running into the bathroom, but before she could get her pants down, she peed her pants in her own bathroom. And then her daughter says, and then she laid there on the floor. She fell on the floor, laid there crying and laughing so hard. So my client told me, yes, I went to the bathroom and I couldn't make it. But then the daughter came in and finished the story and said, yeah, and mom fell on her knees and laid down on the bathroom and laughed so hard because she didn't make it to the bathroom. So what a hilarious story, right? And after we stopped laughing so hard about that, my client says, well, my God, she really was here today. I mean, this just happened today. And I said, she's with you all the time. I mean, she visits you and her siblings, and she knows what's going on in their lives. And then she proceeded to tell me, the daughter who had crossed over proceeded to tell me some things that were specifically happening with her siblings that, of course, I don't know. I didn't even know this person, right? So my client knew some of these things were happening with her kids, and some of them she didn't know, but she was able to find out later that indeed they were happening. So, but that's the funny thing, right? God, that was so funny. To this day, it's probably the funniest thing that's ever happened in a reading. One more funny story, which is not funny at all, except for that I like to make fun of myself. When you start doing this kind of work, like I had mentioned before, you get these, you get words, messages, things, and you have to trust them. You have to literally just say, I am seeing a yellow cat, or I am seeing a purple dog. And what does that mean? You know what I mean? Dogs aren't purple, right? But time and again, the client will say, well, that's really funny because my son used to draw dogs, but he always color them purple. So it doesn't have to make sense to me. You know, I'm just the messenger, right? So I have this reading not terribly long ago, and it's with a whole family. And they're all sad. Let's face it, someone's crossed over. But this particular one was a little more sad because the young man that had crossed over had been murdered. It's a long story. And I don't do a lot of this kind of work. I mean, I try not to do police work. I've done some in the past, but it's really not my thing. I'm too much of an empath, and I get too caught up in it. Okay. But in this case, the not funny thing is that I'm sitting here with this family, and I'm sitting at a table, and they're all looking at me. They're all sitting in a circle looking at me, and they are so serious. You know, I mean, they are really, really, really serious. This is the first time that they've ever had a reading, and the murder hadn't been that long ago. I think it was 1 to 2 years ago. And so it was intense, right? And intimidating for me, because these people were staring at me like, you know, it was a little bit hostile, actually. So here I go. I tune into this young man, and I see him over to my right. He's there. And I start describing him, and they say, yes, that sounds like him. That describes him. And then he says, bulldog. I swear, you guys, this is what the man says. Not, hi, mom, I miss you, I love you. Hi, sister. Hi, you know, this is what no like thing that you would expect to hear, right? I mean, you would expect so many things, right? Bulldog, this is what I hear. But I got to tell you, my guides have a sense of humor. So sometimes I'm thinking, yeah, you're trying to trick me. No, he says, again, bulldog, like that. And I'm like, okay, I cannot believe this is what I have to tell this family. I mean, you know, maybe it has something to do with the investigation. Who knows? So I say, your son has come across with a word and he's saying it very emphatically and he's saying it like this. And the word is bulldog. And swear to God, you guys, these people stare at me like I have now grown, you know, 6 ears. They are looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I go back to this gentleman, this young man, and I say, okay, they don't really get bulldog. You want to give me something else that maybe they'll understand, or maybe something that'll help us all, you know, figure out what happened, or, you know, maybe there's something you want to say to your mom. I'm saying all this in my head telepathically to this young man, right? They don't know this is all happening. I'm often communicating to the other side while I'm looking at you guys. So he says, no, bulldog. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. So I say, no, he says bulldog. It's important to him to get this across. This is all he's going to say until we figure out what it means. Right? So luckily, when you have readings like this, it always helps. If you're going to get a reading, it always helps to have someone with you, especially in a group, that have someone with you that is not necessarily related to you. So someone who can think clearly when your mind is blown. Okay, because what happens is the information comes, and it's happened to me. I've had readings. The information comes out and your mind is blown and you're like deer in headlights, and you're not thinking anymore. Your brain, the reality in your brain has just now been blown. So if you have a friend or a different person with you, they can say, yes, that makes sense, because their brain is still working. It's not their mother, father, son, daughter. So luckily, one of his siblings that was at the table brought her husband. And her husband had been married in the family for many, many, many years. So he was very familiar with everything. And he said, y'all, that's what he called dogs. Any dog was bulldog. He could see a Chihuahua, bulldog. He could see a terrier or a poodle or a Great Dane and say, bulldog. And sure enough, Mom had brought her beloved dogs. We were actually in her house, so the dogs were there, and the dog had come in to the room in where we were doing the reading. And her son had said bulldog, because that's what he called all dogs. He literally didn't even call them by their names. He just called them bulldog. So thankfully, the son-in-law of my client was able to put 2 and 2 together and realize that this is what he was talking. He was talking about the dog that just came in the room. But it's funny because if you can imagine, like you're on a stage and everybody's looking at you, and they're looking for some magical communication to come from across the other side of the veil, and all you have to say is bulldog. That's ridiculous, y'all. That is crazy. So that is funny to me. I still chuckle about it because really and truly, that is the craziest stuff. The guy could have said anything, truly could have said anything. And he went in and went into extreme detail about what happened. He did give his mother some very good information that I think she has since used to figure out more about the case and help towards getting the case solved. He was able to come through with information that, of course, I don't know these people, and I didn't even know, to be honest with you, that it was a murder. I just knew I was reading a family. But the information he was able to give through me corroborated the police reports, and so, but it went into more detail, so it helped. But anyway, that was a funny, not funny story. But I mean, you just have to understand how overwhelming it is to be in my shoes and have only thing to say is bulldog is just crazy. But anyway, I'm so glad that you guys tuned in today. I hope you found it funny, humorous. I hope you learned something about mediumship and psychic abilities. And if you have any questions at all, put them in the comments. And please subscribe, like, share, whatever you feel comfortable doing with this video. If you think someone would be helpful or be helped with this video, please do so. It's been my pleasure to talk to you today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day today. Take care.